I'd like to introduce our partner in this event, Liam Lynch, Chairman of Irish Central. Come on up, Liam.
Okay, thank you, Danny. Thank you, Taoiseach, for your participation. We're very delighted to have you here tonight. So I represent Irish Central, which is the online source for information and news keeping the diaspora connected with Ireland, the culture, the events, and the history. And we've got a strong partnership with the AOH, wonderful group of partners. Obviously, as you all know, incredible, rich history, doing incredible work for Ireland, both advocacy, anti-defamation, also charitable works. Judge McKay, wonderful past president. Danny, leading the organization now. We're really just delighted to be associated with the leading Irish American group. So we're really pleased about that. I wanted to say before Danny introduces the Taoiseach that my own history with Ireland dates back to my own family, where my father, Edmund, was doing advocacy work in Northern Ireland in the 90s. So I'd like to joke, growing up in New Jersey, my friends would go to Disneyland for spring break, and I would go to the prisons in Northern Ireland to meet with the prisoners. But it was a wonderful education. Not only did I learn, obviously, about the peace process and the political affairs, but also about what we all know about Ireland. The people, the culture, the history, and the landscape. So it's incredible for me. So I'm thankful that, lucky to have my parents here tonight, my sister, my aunt Mary Kay, and my friend Trish to participate. And also wanted to recognize we have some distinguished guests here from the US Congress, including Congressman Joyce from Pennsylvania, representing the heartland of America, which is an incredible place. If you haven't been, you need to go. Also, Congressman Kelly was also going to come by too, and also we had Alison from Tourism Ireland. So we appreciate everybody's participation, and we're delighted to have the Taoiseach. As I mentioned, the Taoiseach, my son's also named Leo, so I have a special affinity with the Taoiseach. And like the Taoiseach, my son is also mixed race, my wife is Filipino. And I think this is the face of modern Ireland as we all develop and emerge. So wonderful to have, and thank you all. Dan.
We were able to have this event for two reasons. One is Taoiseach Leo Varadkar wanted to come in and speak to this crowd. And two, the real reason is we've got the workers from the Hill here today. We've got, I think, over 25 states represented. We are half, just about 50-50 on Democrats and Republicans. We're a nonpartisan organization, and we're just so proud to work with everybody. And we're here to support the Taoiseach and all of his efforts. And I'm blessed. I get to go to Ireland quite a bit. And when you're out and you hear someone say Leo, everyone knows who they're talking about. And that doesn't happen. I mean, God bless President Biden, but I heard 6 people call Joe last night. Nobody thought they were talking to the president. So that being said, I'd like to welcome to the stage Taoiseach Leo Varadkar.
Thank you very much, Danny, for the very kind introduction, and to the Ancient Order of Hibernians, and also Irish Central for inviting me to be here this evening. I noticed one or two of my colleagues in the audience. This is the dangerous part, because you forget to mention the person you didn't notice, but I do see Senator Mark Daly is here, Deputy Leader of our Senate, and one of our great protectors and guardians of our national flag, the tricolour, and we spent some time together in Waterford recently in the spot where the tricolour was raised for the first time 175 years ago. And also my former Raptors colleague John Deasy, who you all know well, who's a former member of the Dáil and long-serving member for Waterford. It is great to have the opportunity to meet members of our Irish-American family here in Washington, D.C. And I think it's fair to say that the friendship between our two countries is a unique one, rooted in shared history and heritage, a relationship that has been enriched and strengthened throughout the years by Irish Americans across the US. Generations of Irish immigrants, including many from my own family, found new lives here in the US and helped to shape this great country. Today, remarkably, over 30 million Americans, if not more, proudly claim Irish heritage. And each year, millions of people from both our countries cross the Atlantic to visit, study and work, and make lasting connections. Irish Americans continue to make contributions in every walk of life: business, politics, journalism, and in high-tech and the arts. And the connection that Irish Americans have with Ireland and the pride they take in their heritage is a crucial part of the ties that bind us. Today, Ireland and the United States enjoy a very close and mutually beneficial economic relationship, sustained by strong two-way flows of trade and investment and enduring people-to-people ties. It's now very much a two-way relationship. There are roughly 300,000 Irish people that work in US-owned firms in the US, but there's also 100,000 Americans that work in Irish-owned firms here in the US. And we're now, believe it or not, the 9th biggest investor into the US, and that's not a small thing for a country of 5 million people, so very much a two-way relationship. Ireland, as you know, has often and for a long time provided US companies with a competitive base for their operations within the EU, and an ever-growing number of Irish companies are establishing US operations and investing here and providing jobs across the countries I mentioned earlier. I know from my experience in politics that our friends here in America have had a profoundly positive impact on Ireland. Nowhere is that more so than in Northern Ireland, where US administrations and members of Congress from both sides of the aisle, urged on by Irish Americans, played a crucial role in bringing all parties to the table and securing a peace accord on the 10th of April 1998, and that enduring commitment persists to this day. The Good Friday Agreement respected and reflected the different aspirations that individuals might have for the future of the island, and committed all to pursuing those through solely democratic and peaceful means. The agreement was not the creation or vision of any one tradition. That's why it works, and that's why it belongs to all. And I think this 21st anniversary is an opportunity for all of us to recommit to both the letter and the spirit of that agreement, and to reflect on what happened in the past, and also to look to what remains to be achieved. The Good Friday Agreement remains the foundation for a hopeful future as we look to what the current generation of young leaders and peace builders will achieve in the next 25 years. And I think it's fair to say that at critical junctures, the intervention of the US drove the peace process forward when few others could have. Your influence is felt not just in Dublin, but also in Belfast, in London, and in Brussels. And what America thinks about Ireland really does matter. And each time that a crisis has arisen, the support of the US has been sought, and it's been given generously. And each time Irish Americans push their representatives in government to keep Northern Ireland on the agenda. And I'm very grateful to the congressmen and senators in their offices that take an interest in Ireland and make sure that it's part of your agenda. I know there are 200 countries in the world, and we're just one, so we do appreciate it when we get special attention and special recognition. So thank you all for that, and thank you again for inviting me here today and for your continued support for Ireland. Gur míle maith agaibh go leor.